Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. If you're new here, my name's Claire. I make cakes mostly, but I'm also here to talk about some of the deeper things in life and share my business journey in the hope that it might help somebody else out there. Today I thought we'd make a cake. Surprise, surprise. We're going to do a vegan chocolate cake. I've actually already made the sponge, but I'm going to show you how to fill it with a vegan buttercream. Then we'll semi-coat it and do a nice sort of drip style icing. So let's get into the kitchen and get started. I have got my vegan chocolate cake layers here, which I baked yesterday. I do find that it's a lot easier to ice cakes the day after you've made them, because if you've ever tried icing a cake on the day that it's baked, they're just so fresh. They tend to fall apart easily. You get crumbs coming off everywhere. So this is the way I like to do it. They kind of firm up a little bit, I suppose. And all you need to do is wrap them overnight to make sure that they don't dry out, and they're perfectly fine. So next, buttercream. I've got some vegan buttercream here. I don't think I've done a recipe tutorial on how to make vegan buttercream, but I can do that if you guys would find it helpful. A lot of people say to me when they try to make it that it's too soft or it's runny. The thing that I would say about that is you're probably using the wrong type of fat. A lot of people would just go into the supermarket and pick up those like vegan margarines that you find in the plastic tubs in the refrigerator aisle. The thing is with those, they're only about sometimes like 55%, 60% fat, and it's not really high enough. They're too soft, they've got too much water in them, and that's why your buttercream ends up being really soft. What you want to do is go for one of the hard blocks of margarine, the ones that look more like butter, or get a vegan butter. There are vegan butters now available. Have a little search on the internet and you will find them. You just need to check the ingredients really, make sure there's no hidden dairy in there. That's what I always say with vegan stuff. Just check the packaging, see what's in there. So anyway, we've got our buttercream and we need to flavour it so that it's chocolatey, because this is going to be an all chocolate cake. So we've got two options here. I could either melt some dark chocolate and add it to our buttercream, or use cocoa powder. Today, for convenience, I'm going to add cocoa to this buttercream. So I've got some just here. Move this out of the way. I'm probably going to need about 2 tablespoons, I would say, I guess. I'm just going to add one at a time and then mix it in, because the thing is with cocoa powder, it just tends to go everywhere. It's like even worse than icing sugar. Also, because this is so thick, I may have to add a little bit of liquid. I would say don't really add any liquid when you're making your buttercream, with it being vegan, but if you need to add liquid afterwards, just to get it the right consistency, then you can do that. Just add a very small amount at a time. Okay, this is about right now. I've added probably like 2.5 tablespoons of cocoa to that. I don't really measure this kind of stuff, I just add enough until it's right, which I find is the best way to do it, to be honest. Okay, so hopefully you can just about see. I don't want to use my turntable yet, I just want to keep it flat on the kitchen surface. So I put a generous amount on here. Some people prefer to pipe it onto their cake. I just like using my palette knife for everything, that's me, but you do whatever works for you. There is no right and wrong when it comes to cake making. So, as I say, this is quite thick, but I'm not going to loosen it or anything because I don't want it to like spill, like squirt out the edges when I add the top layer on. So we're keeping it thick. It's spreadable, so that's what's important. Okay, so that is in a fairly even layer now. right up to the edges. Now we're going to take our second layer of cake and I'm going to flip it over. I've already trimmed these so they're nice and level. And I showed you how I trim my cakes in a previous video. I've still got the baking parchment on this because I wanted to sort of keep the moisture in, so I'm going to take that off. And then we'll go straight on with the second layer of buttercream. Okay, there we go, there is our cake. Filled very nicely. At this point you can chill it in the fridge for maybe half an hour or so just to firm everything up. I'm not going to do that today, just for convenience, so we're going to get straight on with the first crumb coat. As you can see, I've nearly run out of buttercream already, so I'm going to make some of this up and then we can get started with the next stage. Okay, more buttercream at the ready. I have loosened this with a little bit of water just because I want it to be slightly softer for the semi-coat. I am going to use my cake turntable for this stage. I have decided that I do need to invest in a new turntable sometime soon. I realise how annoying and creaky this is, and wobbly, and the fact that it turns when you don't want it to turn. So yeah, I know I need to do that soon. But for now we're managing with this one and it's okay. I've got a generous amount on my palette knife. Again, if you want to use a larger palette knife, you can. A lot of cake makers do. I just love this small one. It just works well for me. You might find that as you do this, lots of crumbs and things fall off. That's absolutely fine. That's the purpose of doing a crumb coat, just to seal everything in. I am going to go over it again, so this is just a loose covering around the sides. As you can see, my turntable is starting to tilt. And then some on top. We just need a thin layer really, just to cover the top. Fill in all these little gaps. Now that we've done that, we are going to get one of these cake scrapery thing, and we're gonna plant the cake sort of at a 45-degree angle and press it into the cake. As you turn your turntable, this is going to smooth out all the sides. And we can just see if there's anywhere we need to fill in. Some buttercream. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Now we just need to get rid of this excess layer on the top where the buttercream is sort of collected. So using your palette knife, just gently smooth that inwards and keep getting rid of the excess each time. Just so that we get a nice, neat, clean edge. Now I was going to go around this with my buttercream a second second time, but looking at it, I don't really need to. This is a semi-naked style of cake and I do want the layers to peek through slightly. However, if you do it and you feel the need to add a second layer, then go ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to chill this down in the fridge probably for about half an hour to an hour so that it firms up a lot, and then we can get on with doing our chocolate drip. Okay, now our cake is cold and fairly firm, which is good. We are ready to get on with our drip. We're going to do a partial drip, so just coat one side of the cake. Now, as it's a vegan cake, we can't use regular chocolate ganache because obviously it contains cream. You can make like a vegan chocolate ganache using coconut oil or something instead of the cream. However, today we're going to use straight chocolate, and I've also loosened that, just basically thinned it out with some oil because otherwise I do find it's just too thick to drip down the cake. So here is our chocolate. Obviously make sure your chocolate is a vegan one. Generally you want a dark chocolate over 50% cocoa solids. Most of the vegan ones are 70% cocoa solid or more, but you can get 50%. Just obviously check the ingredients because a lot of the 50% cocoa chocolates do contain milk in some form. So I'm just going to choose where I want my front to be, and I think I'll do it here. Now, a lot of bakers will pipe on their drip. Again, I'm using my little palette knife. I just love this thing. I'm just so used to using it. But if you would rather put your chocolate in a piping bag and pipe it on, if that's easier for you, then obviously go ahead and do that. Now, I've just tested and put one drip just to check it's the right consistency, and that is about right. We don't want it to really drip straight down to the bottom, but it's slowing now. It's just probably halfway down the cake, so I can go on and add a second one. You can vary the length of the drips by basically adding more or less of your chocolate. It's quite nice to have a variety of different length drips, I find. They look really cool. So just keep adding those. It's actually quite difficult doing this back to front, trying to make sure that you can see in the camera what's happening here. But it's fairly straightforward, really. It does take a bit of practice getting this right. I know a lot of people struggle with the drip. But if you've got the consistency of everything right and your cake is cold, it's going to drip down nicely and set as it touches the cake. Spread that out. So, I just pick this up, you can see a little bit closer. There are drips around the side, one half of the cake, so this will be the front. I quite like doing it half and half. I think it's kind of funky. Asymmetric cakes, they seem to be all the rage at the moment. So, again, I might pop a little bit more of the chocolate on top just to fill out this half, but then it will basically go back in the fridge to firm up again before we are ready to decorate. So there we go, it really is as simple as that to make your own vegan chocolate drip cake. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you. If you did, please do give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me, and it means that I can keep creating more content for you guys. If you have any questions or things you want to tell me, please do pop them in the comments below or come and say hello to me over on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!